Yeah. Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode number 1257. That's right, episode number 1257 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition, live today from Red Morton Park. Today, whatever's on your mind. What's on your mind? Let's talk about it. It's a little bit windy. Hopefully the windscreen is working and you can hear me. And it looks like we may be getting some rain. Look at the clouds. And the outside temperature gauge on my car read 60 degrees, but it feels a little bit cooler. Yeah, the Super Bowl is on. I left at halftime, and Don and I also recorded the latest episode of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. Episode number 47 was recorded today. We're going to leave you on suspense regarding the title. It was a very good show, only an hour and a half long or so, but it was a very good show. And I think this was one of the best shows that Don has done because Don has just come such a long way in being able to handle craziness in general, but especially online. And I'm really proud of her. Really proud of her. She's actually cooking dinner right now, so I don't know if she's going to be chatting or not. She'll probably pop in here when she can, but anyway, today's show is going to be pretty simple. I mean, we may address some community news and, get a few chuckles off of the behavior of dysregulated people. I've been on this tangent regarding dysregulated people lately. And, yeah, it's just what you see online, what people will do for clicks, to get attention, to keep attention, right? And, it's just not surprising anymore. It's not surprising at all anymore. It really isn't. Babe, if you're listening, can you pop on in and let me know if you can hear me and see me clearly? I want to make sure you can hear me and see me clearly. Yeah, it's been just so interesting to see people react when they have to finally end up facing reality. Hey, Tia, Don is cooking. Tia, put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Can you hear me and see me clearly? Welcome to the show, Tia. It's great to see you here. Welcome. Thank you, Tia, for the one. Confirmed. We're all good. Yeah, everyone's been talking about my circuit civil case all weekend, except for the defendant and his group. But they've been talking about other things on their community walls that evolve around me, right? And I'm gonna tackle a few of those things here because it's just it just shows that when he and his group of people don't get their way, especially in court, because in court you can't perform. Court is about keeping your composure, right? And staying regulated, right? And to him and his group of people, it's about them being massively dysregulated most, if not all the time, either as part of their YouTube content or it could be part of who they actually are, in my opinion, right? And I'm seeing these postings, I'm seeing community polls about who's going to wipe the floor of the other person at the April motion to dismiss slash anti-slap hearing, trying to just keep the engagement going in that group, trying to keep the outrage going in that group. And the cycle is just dying. I'm seeing it. Like, no matter how these people come back and say, oh, no, I haven't lost any support in this and that, I think people are just getting tired of the same old song and dance. I think a lot of people are getting tired of the games, and I think reality is finally starting to sink into people, right? Because when you have a creator saying that, oh, I'm going to destroy Eli in this case, and there's a scheduling issue regarding January 9th, and Eli is wrong, and I'm right, and you'll see soon. And next thing you know, a reasonable scheduling issue that's supposed to be handled administratively with the judicial assistant gets, elevated to the judge, Judge Stacy, and then Judge Stacy rules in my favor, and a new date has to be selected. That's one time where he postured to his audience and lost. And now he was posturing to his audience that he's going to get sanctions on me and adverse inference and spoliation of evidence, and those motions were denied. So he lost his motions. I'm not claiming victory. I'm just saying that nothing happened. But he postured all this time along with the people in this group, right? And other creators in this group, they postured like they were all tough and they're going to take down the big bad Eli, right? And they lost 2 times. Now, I'm not saying it as a loss, win-loss. I'm saying that they lost their narrative. So their group may have hatred towards me and not like me, but what their leader is promising them has not happened. Yet now, because of what happened at the first hearing in our case on Friday, and after the defendant was saying, I'm taking the whole weekend off, and then he posts earlier today because he couldn't help himself, right? Because he's dysregulated, in my opinion, right? Now he starts to make it, oh, I've donated money to a lot of people and helped out people, right? And Eli's never done that. What does that have to do with our case? What does that have to do with anything? And what are you trying to do? Paint me as someone that doesn't help people? Here's the thing, sir. The truth of the matter is this. If you have donated money to people in the past, the majority of the money you've made over the last 6+ years on this platform has been based off my name and likeness that I could have probably made and used that money to donate to other people. So in essence, when you are claiming donations are being made to other people and trying to paint me as someone that doesn't do fundraisers or don't donate money or give money to other people, what money do I have to give when you've taken all the money from me using my name and likeness? I got a lot of bills to pay. I've got a lot of responsibility that you don't. Now, all you're doing is seeking attention and trying to keep the fire going in that group. But the truth of the matter is that I love helping people. And I would love to donate more money. That's part of the basis of the Genuine Networking Association. And that's also why we're in court, because of your constant abusive nature of commercially exploiting me to make most of your money out here that you supposedly have donated, right? So in essence, all the people you've donated to, hey, you're welcome because it came off my name and likeness primarily, right? Now, I've got nothing to prove. I just thought that was rather comical. I thought that was just ridiculous. The engagement, 7, 8 people, mainly stock accounts, right? His 2 other, let's call them his executives, trying to help with community postings. And then one of them is focusing on another person, not even me, because they're realizing, hey, maybe the stove is too hot now, or maybe it's like, how can we come back from this? How are you going to come back from this, right? Well, there's no need to come back from anything. You just let it go. Hey, babe, how are you doing? Hi, Tia. I was prepping on my stuff for dinner. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally, Dawn's in the house. Hey, babe. You can hear me and see me clearly, but right, babe? Huh. Interesting. We have 30 people here. Huh. That is interesting. Yeah, we're going to see what happens here tonight. And we'll probably have more to say tomorrow from the studio. Yeah. It's so funny that after this court hearing, it really set the tone. It set the tone because now the defendant knows the more he performs, the more it's going to go against him in court. And he knows his performance of, I'm going to get spoliation sanctions put on the C guy, the CU, the C word, right? The C word that he calls me, right? I'm going to get adverse inference on him too. So I just thought it was pretty interesting to see certain people and Jody. Hey Jody, I know you're watching me. Here's the thing, Jody. I think that I think you're a lot better than you're behaving. I don't know your situation. I'm not going to speculate. That's also a court term and just a regular life term, right? I'm not going to speculate on your reactions, but you seem to be heavily invested in my story, Jody. You seem to be saying some things that are irrational and erratic. Why? What have I done to you? I've done nothing to you, right? And I have to ask you this, Jody. This is a fair question. And people can ask the same thing about me, right? What value are you getting supporting the defendant? What value are you getting consuming his content? Does his group of people, Jody, make you feel like you belong to something? Do you feel like you're important and a part of something? You see, I'm not attacking you, Jody. I'm not going to attack you. I'm not going to defame you. I'm not going to insult you. I'm going to ask you reasonable questions that any reasonable, normal, regulated human being would be able to answer realistically. But see, you're not going to be able to, because you're not seeing this from a realistic, regulated standpoint. That's the truth of the matter, right? So how can I expect you to respond rationally when you're not looking at it in a regulated way, right? So I'm going to continue to expect more ridiculousness coming out, not of your mouth, because you don't come on YouTube and create content and show your face and use your voice. You sit there and you use your channel. You make these comments that are very disturbing. And they show a very disturbing level of emotions, right? Give me a second, we got some people coming with a... All right, we're good. I mean, seriously, I don't care what you put. Insults are insults, not a big deal, right? Now, if you defame me, we'll handle that in discovery. Oh, here's the thing. Another thing I was thinking about. You folks let me know what you think in the chat. Here's the reason why the defendant is really, really scared now. I think you're scared, sir. I think you're scared because you've now technically lost twice, right? I'm not looking at it as a victory, but you did lose twice, right? You lost your motions and you lost your argument about January 9th and the scheduling situation, right? So you've lost twice. So now you are legitimately scared that the motion to dismiss / anti-slap's not going to go your way. And like I was saying on my stream yesterday, I took the day off yesterday, by the way, folks. I needed the night off. What you're basically showing is that you're scared, and that's why you mentioned you may hire an attorney, which I don't think you're going to do that, because that's going to cost you at least 10 to 15K, probably more, because this is a dispositive hearing, right? And I think you're going to create a GoFundMe, and you're going to try to grift from your audience. That's what I think you're going to do. So I'm just putting it out there. And if you don't do that, then if you don't grift, then I know for a fact you're not going to hire an attorney, because you're not going to pay for that out of your pocket. You're not going to pay 15, 20, 25 grand for a good attorney. To do it right, this would be 25K plus, with all the prep required to go over my entire complaint, 350 pages, 47 exhibits, and to really sit down with you and prep you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, right? Yeah, so you're not gonna do that. You're not, but you're scared. You know why you're scared? Because you've lost twice right now in this case, right? I haven't won anything. I'm not claiming that I won, but what I can say factually is that you lost the argument about January 9th and the scheduling thing over an administrative scheduling thing that had to be, elevated to Judge Stacy by the JA, and then she ruled against you, and we rescheduled to February, and now your sanctions, your motions were denied, for spoliation of evidence and adverse inference. They were denied. So you lost twice. I didn't win anything. I just didn't get any action taken on me for something I didn't do, right? That you accused me of doing, right? So you're scared now that you're going to lose the motion to dismiss / anti-slap. You know why you're scared, sir? Guess what happens if even one of my causes of action survive? We go to discovery and we start to subpoena everybody and everything, right? You see, that's what you're scared about, sir. You're scared about discovery. Because the truth of the matter is this: I'm not suing you for monetary damages. And I'm going to try to file punitive damages, but I may or may not get those approved by Judge Stacy. We'll see. Okay? So this is not about money. So it's not about you losing money. You want to protect you and other people in your organization from being exposed in discovery, right? So that's what you're scared of, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you think the defendant is scared of discovery and the fact that he's lost twice now in this case. One on January 9th, the January 9th issue, and another a few days ago on February 6th. My lady says 1, Tia says 1, right? So guess what happens once we enter discovery? Once we enter discovery, we start to subpoena the Google accounts of sock accounts, right? We start to subpoena those and we start to unmask sock accounts. And I've already submitted all that evidence, and I have more evidence. I got so many screenshots. I've literally got, like, in the last 14 months alone, I've got literally probably 5,000 screenshots. These people post daily. They enrage the group to do the pile-on commenting, the dog piling, right? And all of that screenshot with the sock accounts. I've got their actual YouTube links and everything. So even if you change the username, the mention name, I've got the actual channel ID. So, I mean, that's what's really going on here, right? So I don't know. Maybe it would be best for you to get representation. I don't know. I don't think you can afford it. I don't think even uh, if you get what do you call it? If you get a GoFundMe going, you may get 3 to 5 grand, but you won't get more than that. And I doubt you'll even get that much. I think you'll get maybe a grand or two. But here's the thing: if one of these supporters of yours wants to refinance their house and give you 25, 30 grand, if one of your supporters that almost made that mistake one time years ago wants to make that same mistake again and mortgage, refinance their house to give you money, hey, that's on them. And if you are going to be the kind of person that takes money from vulnerable people that are on a fixed income that need to pull money from their house to give you money to fight me in court, then that really shows the kind of person you are, sir. You try to paint me as someone that hasn't donated. With what money, sir? You've taken all the money by using my name and likeness. Any money I would have made off my own content had you not been doing to violate me all these years, I would have been donating a lot more, right? So don't sit there and try to reframe it as, you're a better person than me because I've donated money to people. Give me a break. Give me a break. It's all posturing. It's all posturing, and I'll tell you, I actually look forward to the MTD motion to dismiss / anti-SLAPP hearing. I look forward to it because, like I said, like I've been saying the last few days, including the stream I did yesterday here on GNA2. Check it out if you missed it. Very detailed regarding a bunch of things. You should check it out. I believe it has over 400 views now. That's a Waymo. I keep seeing these Waymos, self-driving cars, and it's just really, really weird. It's trippy, like we used to say. We used to use the word trippy back in the days, right? Anyway, so yeah, I've never seen someone posture so much and say that they're going to be away for the weekend, and then they come back because they can't contain their emotions. They can't regulate themselves, right? Because, you're trying to figure out, what are you going to do, right? Regarding what are you going to do when April comes, right? What are you going to do when that hearing comes? And let's say just one of my one of my causes of action survives and the case moves on and we enter discovery, right? Now, here's the thing, sir. Attorney or not, one of my motions could still survive. Maybe more. I'm saying all I need is 1 out of 4 to survive, right? And we move on to discovery, right? Whether you have an attorney or not, the complaint speaks for itself. It's either going to be valid or not. And I know it's valid, right? So here's the thing, sir. You've been, you and your people have been playing around, settlement and polls and stuff like that. And what Judge Stacy suggested, right? Not settlement, but what do you call it? Mediation, right? It's interesting to me too that a lot of your people seem to know a lot more about the case than you and I have both spoken about publicly, which means you've either led them to believe, or you've either told them something else behind the scenes, or there's something unauthorized, like an unauthorized video could possibly be lurking around. I'm not saying it is. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm just saying it's quite weird that people are talking like they've actually heard this case. Tia says, for those of you watching, thanks for joining us. Please hit the thumbs up. It's much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you, Tia, for that. Appreciate that, right? Right. And we have 35 people here, which means I don't think there's anyone rebroadcasting me. Is that because now you know if it keeps happening, the more evidence I get to Judge Stacy, it's not going to look good? Because she told me to file a motion on the third-party rebroadcasting protective order, and that protective order would not be to chill speech or to stop the rebroadcasting. It would be to preserve the evidence, right? So instead of you guys having to leave these public restreams public on YouTube and risk being taken down for platform enforcement or copyright, you probably just stop doing it, right? You see how much court can change a dysregulated person or a unreasonable, ridiculous person? Huh, apparently it looks like court changed you, huh? Starting to really, really do things for you that probably your parents have tried to do when you were younger and even as you got older, but you like ignored your parents completely, sir. Like for the very first time in your entire 40 years of life, you feel that you got to tone it down. You feel like you have to be responsible. You don't want to be, but you're being forced to be by the court of law, right? That's why we're in court, sir. If you were reasonable, we could have settled this like grown men. I've tried that many times over the years, right? And your people are not regulated enough to understand that or to even remember that, or they probably weren't even around back then, right? Right? I'll tell you what, sir, settlement is an option. Settlement is going to cost money. Doesn't matter if I'm not suing for money, a settlement will involve money. If we're going to mediate into a settlement, it will involve money. And it will involve a protective order. And if not, then we're just going to keep going. Like if you want an easy way out, and if you want to avoid discovery, and here's the thing, all I'm doing is just publicly stating what's coming up, right? If you want to avoid discovery, guaranteed, you can do that in a settlement. It's going to cost money, and it's going to be a protective order too, one way. Conduct terms. Now, I'm thinking you're not going to accept that, but I'm just giving you an option. If you want to end this, not have to worry about it, that's your option. If you're serious about settling, I want to get that in writing from you, and then I'll tell you what my offer is. I'm not just going to throw out some offer so you can make content off of it on YouTube. Right? But remember, whatever we do through email and stuff, Any of that you put out publicly that should be considered confidential, that could be part of the confidentiality agreement. That's right. So you wouldn't even be able, that's right. That could be part of the confidentiality agreement. Yeah. So yeah, you wouldn't be able to do it anyway and use it as content, which is what you really want, right? Plus, hiring an attorney, sir, would force you to be compliant and to be different on YouTube, right? You're in a big bind, aren't you? Huh? You only have yourself to blame for it, sir. And you know what's interesting? This doesn't matter. This is YouTube. This is what we do. Some people do it for fun. I do it as a business, right? This has nothing to do with the court case. You know, me talking about this is just talking about whatever, right? This is not relevant to any of the causes of action or issues in the case, right? So you even realize now, hey, if I put this exhibit here or use this video here and file an exhibit, Eli's making me a settlement offer on his live stream. So, is that against the law? Is that against procedure? Right? Isn't that my freedom of speech? I'm not defaming you. I'm not harassing you. Right? I'm not violating your copyright. I'm not commercially exploiting you. Hey, if I want to publicly put out there that, hey, I'm willing to entertain a settlement offer. But it's not going to be what you think, right? But again, if you want an easy way out without having to potentially face discovery, which opens up things wide open, right? That's your fear, right? Because you never thought that it would get to the point of where we're here right now. And in essence, you have two losses. Listen, none of this was a win to me. But what was right was I was procedurally correct and you weren't, right? Yes, you lost. And while you lost, I may not have won, but procedurally I was proper and you weren't, right? Procedurally, I followed the JA's instructions. You didn't. You escalated it to the point of where the JA had to escalate the January 9th hearing, simple issue, to Judge Stacy, and she ruled against you. So you lost that. I didn't win anything. I was just procedurally right. And you were wrong. But you forced the issue, so you lost. Right? And you lost yesterday as well. I didn't win. I just was procedurally sound, and you weren't. But you lost your motions. And I wasn't going to talk about it today. I wasn't going to even talk about it, but I decided to respond because this guy can't even keep his own word of saying that, oh, I'm not going to talk about this all weekend, and here he is, right? Reality check, sir. Accountability check, sir. No one in your life has held you accountable. Like I kept on saying, I'm going to be the one. Actually, it's going to be Judge Stacy. But I brought this case in front of the Honorable Judge Stacy, right? And like you said Judge Stacy's really nice. I heard that on your stream. She is really nice, but she's also procedurally proper. And just because you think she's nice doesn't mean she can't see the difference and contrast between, my filings and yours. I think the fact that you filed for sanctions early on is not a good look in front of the judge, especially when there's also a dispositive hearing coming up that she wasn't even aware of. This is the first time she saw our case. They're that busy there. I was the one that told Judge Stacy about the MTD anti-SLAPP. So, I started to let her know here's what we're up against, because she was saying, I don't want to send you guys to mediation quite yet. No, that makes sense, Your Honor. If anything, we could talk settlement through email, right? We could talk settlement even without a mediator. A mediator is going to be expensive. But if it has to go that way, yeah, I'll pay my part. But I'm not going to spend all that money on a mediator when I know this guy is unreasonable. It's going to be a waste of money, right? I think that one of two things is going to happen here. This will not go to mediation. There may be some depositions, and like Judge Stacy said, you can have a bench trial or a jury trial. Right now, I have this case set as a jury case. But depending on what happens at the motion to dismiss / any slap, I may just start deposing people. And when enough people are deposed on both sides, then I may motion Judge Stacy for summary judgment, like a bench summary judgment at that point. So there are lots of options on how to handle this. I'm being reasonable. He's not. Right? And again, I don't care if anyone clips me. It doesn't matter. The truth of the matter is this. When the judge didn't grant my protective order for the electronically stored information, simply put, just to protect the content that's private that I've sent to the defendant, to fix the broken public links on his filings that he used my public links initially that are now private. That's all that was for. It wasn't to chill speech or anything. Instead of doing that, she suggested that him and I do a confidentiality agreement. She asked me first. I answered right away. Yes, Your Honor, I'm open to that. Because she was testing me too. Because I wanted a protective order. She was testing me to see if I was reasonable. I responded right away. I said, absolutely, Your Honor. A confidentiality agreement sounds good. Sounds proper. You see, that's what reasonable people do. And it pretty much accomplishes the same thing. Almost. Close. And then she asked him, and he hesitated. He didn't want to agree, but he agreed because he knew he was being tested by the judge. Yes, you can quote me on that. You can file that if you want. It was a test for the both of us. And good answer, sir. I keep saying this. I've been saying this all weekend. I said it yesterday too. Good answer that you accepted that. Because if you didn't, then she would have probably questioned you. Well, what's your reasoning to not accept it? What do you want to do with those videos that Mr. Melas is trying to protect? Right? You knew that was the next question coming. I don't care who's on those soccer accounts. Please, you don't have to come into my chat and try to tell me that some people that I wouldn't think would be using the soccer account are using them. Whoop-de-doo. It doesn't matter. The truth of the matter is these people are primarily dysregulated, and this is like I am their regulator, right? Like cars have regulators and distributors, right? Like I am their regulator, right? Regulators, right? I still think it's hilarious that someone that I don't have any problems with, I never even said anything about her, But I started talking about dysregulation, and then she changed her channel name to Dysregulators. I said it the other day. I'll say it again. Dysregulators with a Z. I swear, man. Am I the only original person within this whole group of people that surround me, whether I want them to surround me or not? Am I the only original? Everybody copycats me. Why do people copycat me, man? Tia, Dawn, do you agree that people like to copycat me frequently? And do you wonder why they keep doing it? It's kind of odd, huh? It's bizarre, isn't it? So someone comes in here and says that the one of these with purpose soccer account channels is actually a lady that used to be a part of us over here for a little while, and then she was led to believe that her moderate was removed when it wasn't, and then she flipped again. Like, wow. You know, when somebody flips when you did nothing at all. I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't even do anything at all. Right? When somebody flips like that over nothing, then you know. Then you know how okay. I'm watching this couple, they're coming towards me, and then they just turned around. Yeah, they have no originality, says Tia. Yeah, give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, we are back live. We are back live. All right, we are back live. We are back live. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me clearly. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see me and hear me clearly. Thank you, babe. My lady says, I have a quote. Link, when should I send it? Give me another 10 minutes, babe. 10 minutes. I'll let you know when to send it, okay? I'm heading back to the lot. I'm going to walk around there for about another 10 more minutes, so we're good. So, Mr. Defendant, you're watching my stream. I thought you were taking the weekend off. I knew you weren't. I know that you're watching my every move because I'm the only content you have, right? Your content engine is anchored to my name and everything I say and do. That's all you have left out here on YouTube, in my opinion, right? Right? My topic had nothing to do with you, but you tuned in because you assumed that I was going to talk about you, right? And I chose to, but you chose to tune in over a basic topic because you can't turn this off, right? My topic was, what's on your mind? Let's talk about it. Had nothing to do with you. You tuned in because you're invested and you want to hear what I have to say and you want to know where my mind is at, right? I'll tell you exactly where my mind is at. My mind is at the April 30th, not the April 30th, the April hearing for the MTD anti-SLAPP. And also my mind is taking care of my lady and my family. I took care of a bunch of things today. And I'm just living one day at a time and just happy in every aspect of my life, including what I do out here, right? You see, my happiness is not dependent on you, sir. My happiness comes from within, right? I love my lady. I love my family. I love people in general that deserve love and others that don't deserve love, I don't bother them. I let them be. But I don't feel any harm or hatred towards them, right? But you, sir, in order to regulate your dysregulation, in my opinion, you need to tune in and watch me, right? You need to tune in and watch me and analyze me and try to figure out where my mind is at, right? I've told you everything. There's nothing to hide, right? If anything, sir, like my streams draw you out of your own hibernation, sir. You in essence were saying you're going into hibernation this weekend, and you came out of hibernation twice, right? I know that you posted. I know you posting. You chose to watch me unprovoked. The title was not provoking, sir. You chose to tune in because you assumed it was going to be about you, right? And whether it was going to be about you or not doesn't matter. You can tune in wherever you want. It just tells me that you're on edge over this, right? You're on edge over this, and you're realizing. And here's the thing, sir. No rebroadcast tonight, huh? I know the Super Bowl is on, and I really don't care for both teams. Yes, the Super Bowl is here at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, where the San Francisco 49ers play, but I'm not a big fan of either team, especially the Seahawks. I'm not a big Seahawk fan. But anyway. Hey, good evening, Lewis. How you doing? But anyway, are you now realizing that now that Judge Stacy's aware of third-party rebroadcasts and she wants me to file a motion on it, that the more and more you guys do it, and with the evidence I already have, it's not going to look good for you? You know, court did you well, man. I'll tell you this, I think court kind of grounded you, humbled you, and put you in your place. And here's the thing. Judge Stacy was cool and calm. But you realize that she's cool and calm, and she focuses on what's procedurally proper, procedurally right. Right? And you realize that theatrics are not going to work with her. I don't think she would even entertain your theatrics like Judge Bowie did. Right? And maybe you're thinking, sir, oh, Judge Stacy's so nice. If I can just keep my composure and be nice to her, maybe I can somehow get this whole thing tossed out in April, right? Is that what you're thinking, sir? Because in order for me to present my best case, I got to put myself in your head and try to do something that I hate doing because I would never be that way. I'd have to. I'm putting myself in your head and trying to figure out your thoughts and what you're going to try and what you're going to do, right? Because you've been able to squirm your way out of so many issues over the last 6 to 8 years. And there have been people on this platform that have saved your ass so many times. And they're still trying to save your ass this time, right? Let me let somebody go. You know, it's really weird when you hear somebody walking and it's a little dark here and they have shoes. It was a guy that has shoes that sound like heels almost. Good evening, Eli and Don. Hey, good evening, Lewis. How you doing? Welcome. Give me a second here. I think there's a band playing in there, like live music. Yeah, I think. Oh, they're. It's actually a live band in there, and they're doing some dancing in there. Whoa, that's really loud. Okay. You're not a problem. It was the StreamYard app that was giving me issues. Oh. Oh, okay. Wrong message. No big deal, Lewis. Everybody has always come to your rescue, sir. You see, sir, here's the difference between you and me. I'm not even trying to compare, but here's the difference because you try to make it a competition between you and I. I'm not competing with you. I never have. I stand on my own. I've been doing this on my own. Yes, Don's been supporting me, and so have other people like Sandra and Tia. But when it comes to doing all the work, everything I've done on my own. Right? You got an army of people trying to help you take me down, and I'm doing this on my own. And you've tried everything to get this thing thrown out. You had that Florida woman make all those. Don't forget about the non-party filings, the emergency filings. All that stuff will be brought up at the anti-slap and the motion to dismiss. All of that will be brought up. Right? It'll be brought up in a narrowly tailored way as conduct, right? Because how does that apply as conduct? It's gonna apply towards the defamation and anti-slap. See, that's where the conduct comes into place. That's why all of that stuff that I've filed says evidentiary materials for the anti-slap, right? Now, ultimately, the MTD part, the motion to dismiss, is based on the four corners of the complaint, right? Is it pled properly? Yes, it is. And then, are those pleadings sufficient to carry on? Yes, they are. And I also have 47 exhibits attached to the complaint, the second amended complaint, right? I've done it all by myself. You've had lots of help. See, the difference, sir, listen, I'm not here to compare, but let's say, for shits and giggles, let's say we compare, right? There's no comparison with the type of work I can do on my own, which the work I do on my own is far superior than the work that you're outsourcing to all the people that are helping you. That's the funny part. There are many people in your group that are trying to collectively help you take me down in this case or in other ways, like out here on YouTube and stuff, right? And how's that panned out for you, right? I'm just asking you a legitimate question. Like I'm not trying to complain or I'm not trying to create any drama. I'm just putting it out there in a cool, calm, and collected way, right? This is a chill stream tonight. Hey, what's on your mind? Let's talk about it, right? And this is what's on my mind. If other people have things they want to talk about, it's all good, right? Give me a second. All right, we are back live. We are back live. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me clearly. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see me and hear me clearly. Please put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me clearly. I'd appreciate it. Thank you, Tia. Yeah, Mr. Defendant. Interesting. 17 comments on that posting regarding you talking about my stream here. mainly soccer accounts. Some yours, some the Florida ladies. They're primarily your January sunshine is coming. That never came, sir. So, sir, are you sitting there on your channel trying to amplify your out of sequence posting on me when you say you're taking the weekend off? Are you sitting there amplifying it with your own socks? January sunshine is coming, out of time, posting with purpose, right? And all the rest. And then you're responding to all of them. You're trying to trigger the YouTube algorithm, sir. But guess what? Instead of triggering the YouTube algorithm, you're triggering yourself, man. It's like this is like desperation at its finest, man. Desperation at its finest, man. And all I'm doing is calmly sharing the latest news, right? And you're sitting here watching me, and you know what? Actually, I'm helping you. I'm helping regulate you, right? Believe it or not, you click into my streams because whether you like me or not, and you don't like me, right? I regulate you, sir. And you know what? For that, you know what? I'm happy I could help someone that's struggling in that way, just like you, sir. I'm really happy that I can help someone regulate themselves. Because I'll tell you this, what I saw on Friday at the hearing for the first time ever is you doing whatever you can to control your emotions and regulate yourself in front of Judge Stacy, because you knew that's going to set the tempo, right? That's going to set the tempo for April, right? Right? Now you're back on the YouTube. You're not getting the usual pile-on traction on your own because your people are bored of this story and they're watching the Super Bowl. So instead, you're doing the pile-ons with the soccer counts. And you're all wasting energy getting triggered over things that I don't give a shit about. I don't. I mean, let me ask you this, Mr. Defendant. You made that posting 45 minutes ago, and you've got 5 or 6 soccer accounts there, and no other engagement, at least at the time that I saw it, right? And you expect me to believe that all 5 of those soccer accounts immediately responded after that posting? They were just waiting here or waiting by your channel instead of watching the Super Bowl or doing something else? Come on, man. Artificial engagement, right? And you don't care about ruining the YouTube algorithm. You care about your audience seeing, oh, there are 17 comments there, so I might as well click in and see what's going on and then participate, right? You know how to create the pylons, man. It's not working anymore, man. It's not working. It's not working. Babe, go ahead and get your quote in, please. The quote of the day. Oh, and you, Florida lady. No, I don't miss the fact that you didn't talk about me today, and I don't care. It doesn't matter. You want me to address you? You want my attention? You're not done talking about me? Of course you're not. Of course you're not. But you're focusing on other things right now. And to be fair, when I went to check the community walls a second ago when I went offline, babe, I'll get to your quote in a second, I saw that the Dysregulator's channel is live, and they're talking about you again. What's new? Like honestly, how much more of the same thing? How much more of the same thing is going to continue to keep the same audience around? And if those people keep coming around, I'm like, come on, really? All right, and again, I don't care who you are, whether you're on the good side of things or the bad side, doesn't matter. It's like the same old repetitive stuff. Their title is like, let's talk about, and I'm not going to say the rude stuff, the insulting stuff in their title, but they're talking about that Florida lady. Let's talk about her, and they put an insult in the title to get people to show up. Has it not been played out? What's up? Welcome. Are you new here? My ladies, quote, respectfully, maturely, and professionally done. When the defendant can't admit defeat, it shows through denial, deflection, and bravado, revealing discomfort with the loss, not victory. When a defendant can't admit defeat, it shows through denial, deflection, and bravado, revealing discomfort with the loss, not victory. Yeah. Yeah, new, no worries. I'm cool. Really? That makes me lead to believe that you're not cool. You're cool? I don't think you're cool. So, how'd you find out about the channel then? Okay. I was invited by a friend just for laughs. Laughs about what? Can you be more specific? Laughs about what? You were invited by a friend just for laughs. It's okay. I'll entertain a troll for a second. Let's see what you say. How far do you want to take this, right? You're probably dysregulated, and talking to me makes you feel regulated, right? Because you think you're here to try to pull a fast one on me, and that makes you feel regulated, right? So, in essence, I'm helping all of you, right? I'm helping all of you regulate yourselves, right? Yeah. I'll let you stay. But one nasty comment, and you're going to get the hammer. Just letting you know. And by the way, no one besides my lady can tell me to calm down on my channel. Maybe Tia and Sandra, that's about it. And maybe ODN, the executive team. Nobody else. Nobody else talks to me like that in my channel. Understood? If you're gonna posture at me, I'm gonna lay down my ground rules. You understand? I mean, your supposed friend invited you here. I'm just laying down the rules. Right? We got some fireworks happening. Babe, put a one in the chat. Can you hear me clearly? All right, man. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I heard the fireworks. Yeah. Did you hear him at the house, babe? Give me a second. I'll be right back.